Ilia Topuria is now knocked out. Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, and Alexander Volkanovski back-to-back-to-backs, and that just really puts him up there in the GOAT conversation. Maybe not yet, but he's definitely getting up there. And a few more wins, I could see him achieving GOAT status. Just watch how new generation, they keep climbing GOAT status, and eventually I think Merab, Ilia, those guys, they'll surpass DJ, GSP, guys like that. And we're going to get a new GOAT soon, I feel like. Faster than you might think. I know Islam's up there too. But with Ilia Topuria, whatever fights would be interesting for him at lightweight. Now we're all interested in the Makhachev fight, but looks like that might not happen right now. So at lightweight, there's Arman Tsarukyan, which is an interesting fight. I think he'd fight a little better than Oliveira. Not as reckless. Probably would be backing up a little bit more. But he also would look for clinch. That's something that would work for him. Actually being able to get takedowns, that might not happen because Ilia himself is a good wrestler. His hips look strong and Oliveira couldn't take him down. He just completely reversed him and put Oliveira on bottom. But for Oliveira, he kind of looks to submit from anywhere, which can sometimes be bad for him because he could run out of time. That is why he lost to Arman, because he just spent too much time on bottom position. But with Arman, like I said, looking for the clinch, maybe trying to wear down Ilia, that could be good for him, but he should stay away from the pocket. I think his body kicks would be very helpful for him in that fight, but I feel like Ilia would probably get him. We saw how Joaquim Silva cracked him with the left hook on the temple, so... But it's an intriguing fight, Ilia and Arman. There's Justin Gaethje. I don't think that one would be very competitive. Paddy Pimblett, now that is pretty interesting. I'd say that's more interesting than Gaethje for sure, and maybe even more than Arman. But what Ilia, or what Paddy would try and do, he'd try to maintain his range, try to look for those kicks, keep Ilia at bay. Maybe try and wear down his arms with high kicks to the arms and that, and he could throw some leg kicks and body kicks. That would work well for him. Would he submit Ilia? I don't think so, but if he could stay on the outside and somehow outstrike Ilia, then he could win the fight that way, but I doubt he would. He also keeps his chin kind of high and can get hit at times. But he has improved very much since that Jared Gordon fight and Tony Ferguson fights like that. But I feel like Ilia will probably win that as well. Now, the Makhachev fight deserves its own video, but I'll talk about it quickly. Islam should also try and look for a clinch. Probably look to get Ilia backed up against the cage, because that's where he's most strong at his takedown game. And throws, trips. We saw it out in the open. He's not as good. And against Ilia, I doubt this could work for getting it to the ground. But he should maybe try and pressure Ilia, which is hard to do. He doesn't want to walk into a counter shot like Oliveira did, but he should try to hunt for the clinch, get some knees to the body, try and get the fight to the cage, and maybe look for trips or throws over there, and maybe try and just control Ilia, burn him out on the bottom, and can hunt for a submission later on. I'd say that would be Islam's method to victory. For Ilia, try and back Makhachev up. That would be the game plan, which Makhachev sometimes does do, especially against Volk, and Volk was dropping him sometimes. And if Volk's doing that, I feel like Ilia could take note of that and find a lot of success and maybe be able to find the shots to knock Makhachev out. But as long as Islam stays away from the cage, he has good defense, he's pretty hard to hit. Could also keep Ilia's hands busy with the kicks, throw body kicks as well, and I'd say that would be good use, and look for a clinch. So it's a pretty close fight. Tough to make a prediction. Obviously you want to lean Ilia because of recency bias, but it really deserves its own breakdown. Now, I see some people mentioning Mauricio Rufy as an interesting fight, and I mean, it is. Rufy, he poses some new threats, the fluidity. He got a wheel kick KO over Bobby Green, but other than that, not much. He got a round taken off of him by James Lontop because he got tired in the third round, and in a 5-rounder versus Ilia Topuria, it doesn't look that good. Also, there's Jamie Malarkey, who he beat. I mean, can't say much about that, but I know Mauricio Rufy can improve, but we can't really make those arguments right now. If he keeps having those kind of performances like Bobby Green, that's sort of performance, then we can now have talks about Huffy and Topuria, but for now, not really. But that's going to be it for this video, so thanks for watching, and I probably should have made this video a week ago, or even more.